check. Saved that. I'm talking to that.
Hello.
Yep. Hello.
Is this flexing good enough? Does this work?
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's try to fix this.
Oh, I don't like these pants.
See? We're gonna talk about the pants. Are we on?
Yeah, we're on. We're rolling.
So why the jeans? Like,
I
why are you
like
wearing
jeans.
jeans? Where's your fucking
I only have
eat
one.
the food tank top that we desperately needed to wear?
We're gonna. I'm getting a new one, new logo made, and we're gonna wear it. I don't care
Are
what you
we?
say. Yep.
You better fucking fit like this.
So like what?
Like the one I have on now.
It'll fit like that.
I don't trust you.
What brand is this? It doesn't even have a brand on
It's
it.
not a fucking brand. It was at the store. I went to Dick's or
All right,
Walmart
well
or
then
whatever.
I'll go to Dick's and buy tank tops.
Why do you think they call it Dick's? Like, why couldn't they just call it something else, like Sporting World or
Richards.
like something? Like, why Dick's? Who's the Dick?
I don't know who the Dick is.
Right? Like, why Dick's? Like, is there a guy named Dick? Or like, was it primarily supposed to target men? Like, where's this
Maybe
going?
it's supposed to just target men, or maybe.
But then they wouldn't have a women's section.
I know. Well,
I don't know
maybe
what
it
they would
came
call
out.
it, but definitely not Dick's.
Something else. Maybe
Right.
there's just a woman that was married to a Richard, and he was like,
To a dick?
You have to name this store after me, and she was like, fine, you're such a dick, and then called it Dick's.
I mean, I'd like to go with that story.
I'm
That's
gonna go
fine.
with that one. I like that one. That's the story.
Now we call it. That's why it's called Dick's.
Okay. All right, so
Well, glad we got that straightened out.
that's straightened out,
So
and I'll
this
get
is
tank
a topic
tops.
that's been bugging me for ages.
For ages. I don't know how I lived this long without fucking knowing.
We should Google Dick's. No, don't Google Dick's.
Don't.
because
That's gonna be a
lot
whole
of things
slew
are
of
gonna
things
pop up.
coming up.
Right.
Don't
Be
Google
more
that.
specific.
Yeah. All right. I even have a bunch of questions for you today.
Great. I look forward to it.
Okay. So you were talking about how to be in control of your eating habits.
Right. So, are you in control of the eating habits? Right, which we both piggyback on the live from last night. So
I know, but you can't say last night because this is going to air in a couple weeks.
last night, meaning 2 weeks ago. All right. Well, for those that don't know, every Wednesday we do the Facebook Live.
Yes.
Right, and then we record the podcasts Thursday morning.
Right.
So-
So Wednesday nights is the Real
Wednesday-
People, Real Food group.
Right, the live session.
And then
is there.
Thursday mornings we're here at Stride Spin and Fitness recording the podcast.
Mm-hmm. This is our podcast studio.
Yeah,
Right.
I like it.
Jess and Tori let us do that,
Yeah,
which is nice.
it is nice.
They're not here though.
They're not here, but I tell them that we're here.
Oh, good.
Good, yeah, they know.
Do they watch us on camera? Because that would be creepy.
There's no cameras in here.
Well, there should be.
No. In the lobby.
But why not in here? What if the
Why?
coach starts hitting people? You need
Yeah.
to have proof.
What coach do you
You,
think is good? I was just
you would
gonna
be
say,
the coach
I
that
knew
would
it,
hit
I knew
people.
it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would think that I would do that. Okay. What do you mean, Just
Exactly
get
what
on
I
with it.
said. What?
Talk about your
habits.
your eating habits.
Okay.
Taking control
So
of your eating habits.
when I'm when we refer to eating, having your nutritional habits under control, I don't mean what type of food you're eating.
Okay.
Right? I kind of mean what are your daily habits that you do that will allow you to either have control or be out of control when it comes to what you're going to eat. So whether a habit of meal prepping every Sunday and kind of have 2 or 3 meals for the next couple of days.
Okay.
Right? You don't have to have 4 or 5 meals a day
Yeah.
already prepped, but maybe have your lunch, your breakfast ready to go, right? And then when you come home, you could cook dinner. Or you can have smaller plates. Or when you go shopping, you kind of have an idea of what to stay away from, or not necessarily away from, because everything should be fine, right? Everything could be included in your plan, but understand what to look for in a nutrition label, right?
Okay.
Whether this is good for me or not for me, or if I'm getting something that I think is a protein, is it really a protein? Do you have habits of understanding those things, right?
Okay.
Do you do the necessarily homework to understand why this may be a better option than this. But I can still have the not so good option.
Yeah.
Just know when.
Know when.
Right? Are you able to drink water throughout the day? Do you get is your day kind of getting busy and you forget to drink water, right?
Yeah.
People
Or forget to eat.
drink or forget to eat. How do you do that? But like you do that, right? Because
Right.
your day kind of takes over, your work takes over, your meetings, and you kind of just forget, not necessarily meaning to forget. It just kind of happens, right? On a
Right.
busy day. So, what habits do you have in place that will not allow you to fall off even when things come up?
Okay.
Right.
How to keep your routine in place.
Right. How do you do that? But again, right, everything we talk about, whether it's habits, whether it's staying on plan, whether it's having results, whether it's being consistent, it all comes down to a routine, right? That'll keep you going. Like when I walked in here this morning, I told you I don't feel like I'm in
Yeah.
today, right? And whatever I'm doing, I'm not the right mindset or whatever. I don't even want to go to the gym, but I'm gonna go,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a routine that if
you
I
don't-
don't, it's gonna feel worse.
Right.
I'll probably feel better, 50 minutes later, but
Yeah, you will.
I'm not looking forward to it right now.
Okay.
But having all the right routine and structure and habits in place will allow you to be successful when motivation isn't there, right? So, do you have all the habits in place to be in control of your nutritional goals,
Okay.
right? Do you make the choices of focusing on protein? Are you aware that you tend to favor carbs? Do you know how you feel after the meals? Are you energetic? Do you feel bloated? Do you feel sick? Are you still hungry? Right? All those things are important to know because those are going to make you aware of whether you are in control or out of control.
Would you recommend people like keep a food diary of
I
how
would.
they,
I mean, how would you?
what
How
they
else
eat
do you
and
know?
how they feel afterwards?
Right. How else do you know?
When they worked out that
You
day.
got it. Right. How do you feel? Like,
The times that you ate.
right. What is happening that allows you to be successful one day versus the next day? Or what did you do the week where you lost 4 or 5 pounds versus the week where you gained 3?
Right.
Right? Like, what's happening, and did you really gain weight? You didn't really gain a pound or drop a pound or whatever, right? Like, so you have to be mindful and aware of what your habits are to creating that routine that allows you to consistently make progress versus not knowing what those things are and not having control over your nutritional habits.
Okay.
Right.
So what do you do when you're like you said today that you're not into it, but you're still gonna go to the gym? What would you say to people that are like, no, not doing it. I'm eating cake and I'm gonna watch TV.
Then that's a choice you made, right? Then that's a choice you made, and you have to kind of live with it, and not worry about it the next day.
The next day.
Don't get down on yourself and now start,
Go down a slippery slope.
right where
Falling completely off
where
track.
you're restricting everything because you had a piece of cake last night, or 2
Yeah.
pieces, or the entire cake, whatever.
Or go the other way and just
Right,
forget
say fuck it
everything. I'm not
completely,
doing
right?
it.
Right, maybe you just don't feel it. Maybe today would be best if I just didn't do it.
Right.
Maybe just take the day and do other stuff. But then Saturday and Sunday I know I can't work out, so I'm not going to let today pass without doing something. Right.
But you already have that in your mindset. Some people don't have that in their mindset. They're not thinking ahead. They're just thinking in the moment. But you've been on
But
this
you're
routine.
disciplined, right? So
Yeah. Well,
creating
you're disciplined.
Right, but it has to start somewhere.
Okay.
You don't just become disciplined, right? It's a
You didn't
constant.
just become disciplined?
No, it's constant work, right? To still get the things done that you have to get done when you're not motivated to go.
In the whole 10 years that you've been eating this way, have you ever fallen off and been like, nope?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Never?
No.
Never went on like a bender on the weekend?
No.
And I'm not talking just alcohol. I'm just like, I'm not
No.
working out and I'm
No.
going to eat.
No.
How? Why?
There's no reason for it. I still do it. Like for WrestleMania, I had 4 slices of pizza and cheese fries, and then I'm gonna do similar stuff if I feel like it. Like that's.
I mean, I guess that's not really going off.
No, because I ate before.
Yeah.
Now normally I eat after, so I really haven't just said
No.
no.
Huh. I don't think everybody else is like that.
Well, they don't have to be exactly to that extreme, but at least doing it correctly or being consistent 80 to 90% of the time will allow you to do all the things that people consider off plan, quote unquote, or bender, or whatever the case
Right.
may be, or binge eating, or
Binge eating.
right, because
I mean, that's dangerous in itself. You shouldn't do that anyway. So when you're taking in, how would you tell people, how would they know how many calories in and how many calories out they should expend?
well, first of all, I think it's important to start with right in the beginning and understand what you're currently doing. Like, start tracking down some food, what you're doing throughout the day, what you're eating, and look at what that is, right? I mean, you can Google everything and everything,
Right.
But let's say if you're trying to focus more on eating protein, you first have to write things down and see what you're actually eating. Now,
Yes.
right? Before I have to make improvements. Well, what if you don't have to make improvements? What if you do?
Okay.
What do you have to cut down? What if you have to increase? What if you have to stay the same? But if you don't know what that is, how are you making that call on what your calories should be if you don't know what you're currently doing?
Okay.
Right? So everybody thinks it's tedious or it's a lot of work to meal prep, or if I have to start counting my food, I'm gonna fall off. That is a silly answer.
Yeah, that
right?
is.
And I don't
yeah.
mean to call anybody out, but I'm gonna call out everybody. Okay? And here's what I mean. What the fuck do you mean that if you have to do that, you're gonna fall off? You're already off.
Yeah.
You're already off.
made the
You're already
decision.
not doing it.
Yeah.
So you're not falling off. You're just doing the same thing you've done all the time,
Right.
which is
Not
not
doing
tracking,
it.
not doing it, not understanding anything,
Yeah.
and then complain that I didn't lose weight,
Okay.
or I didn't see results, or I'm not happy with myself,
Yeah.
or start touching your stomach, or whatever, because like you feel fat, right? Well, it's okay to feel that way, but what are you doing to fix it? And if you're not doing the things that successful people that are doing to get
Yeah.
to those results, then you're just not doing it. And
Okay.
understand that. Don't say, if I have to do this, I'll fall off. Then there's no reason to continue this conversation,
Okay.
right? Because it's not going to get anywhere.
No, I get.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So to be successful, you kind of have to do the things you don't want to do,
Yeah. I agree.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Plus,
not
I
trying
feel
to
like
be a
it's-
dick, because every food should be fine, and everybody's got their own lifestyle and structures and daily things that make them fall off, or challenges or things like that, right? What's going to work for you?
Okay.
If doing what most successful people do to lose weight, or be healthy and be fit, if you're not willing to do the things that allow those people to be successful, then what are you going to do?
Okay.
Right? Most people that have success do kind of meal prep,
Yeah.
are
they do.
prepared for
They're prepared.
their
Yeah.
day, right? Know that protein is the most important. Make a self-conscious effort to get that water in, right?
Yeah.
Or the steps,
Right.
or whatever you have to do, or count calories, because if you don't count, how the fuck do you know if you're overeating or undereating,
Right.
right? So the things that you don't want to do may be the key to having success.
Do you write everything down, or you just?
I don't write anything down anymore, just because I only eat a few things, right? So I kind of I know what it is.
Yeah.
So I don't write it, but even the way we do plans for clients, I have an OV file,
Yeah.
and I sometimes put my plan on there to see where I'm at, where I'm falling,
Okay.
if it's too much of this or too much of that, and then I compare the results versus, how
How
it
often
was.
do you do that for yourself?
I kind of test it every couple of months.
Every couple
see
of
where
months?
it is.
Okay.
Like I've been being a little loose the last few days with like chocolate and sugars and things like that, and I think it's just because I'm a little like, I hate the word burned out, but I feel like I am.
A
So
little
like,
burned out.
Yeah, so I kind of just been craving more things that I don't normally crave.
Maybe this is your little bender.
It could be, but I still eat my regular meals.
Yeah.
And then everything else is bonus, but I know it's extra calories on top of that.
Yeah.
But if I didn't track the before, how would I know that these are extra calories?
That's exactly right. Okay.
Right.
So I think the food diary is a good.
The
Or
food diary is
journal.
important. It's
Yeah,
some type of
because
journal.
it's trial and error.
Or just
Error
write
is-
things down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how you keep it, but you have to understand what's going on before you can fix it. When you go to the doctor, right, and they try to diagnose your whatever you're coming in for, well, how are you feeling? What happened?
Yeah.
How what's the pain like from 1 to 10?
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
They diagnose and they go step by step to kind of understand what is really happening. They're not just going to fix it. They don't know how to fix it, right? They kind of break it down and understand it before they can recommend a medicine or food or rest or whatever the case it is to kind of fix your problem.
Okay.
Same thing here. If you have to break it down as to what your current habits are to find out if you're truly in control of your nutritional habits. How do you know if you don't know?
You don't know if you don't know.
Right. So you got to somehow write it down.
Figure it out.
Right. But it's going to take a little bit of work.
Yeah.
But it's usually the things you're not doing that is going to lead to the results that you really want.
Well, I think people just want somebody to do all that for them, and then they just.
Right, but we do it. They do have someone that does it for them. We do that for them.
Yes, we do.
And
that
then
for
they
them.
don't follow through. Right.
Well, most of them follow through.
No, I'm not right.
Some of them
Some
follow
don't.
through. I
But-
followed through.
Right, but some don't.
Right.
Right, and that's just the reality of it. But the ones that don't versus the ones that do, the results are just pretty obvious.
I
Right?
yes.
I mean, it's pretty.
You could see it,
It's pretty out there, right?
and you should be able to see it because
Right.
you know
Right.
that's why you're doing it.
And if you're not seeing results, then you may just want to be honest with the person that's trying to help you. I'm not doing this. I told you
Okay.
I'm doing this, but I'm
I'm not doing it.
right? And it's not a bad conversation. It's actually a very positive conversation because then you understand that the person trying to write the plan or the person you're working with or your coach is kind of, spinning their wheels trying to figure out why things
Why
are not
aren't
working
when you didn't tell them that
when
this
you didn't
is
tell
why.
them the reasons right behind it. So they're
Yeah.
assuming that what you've been talking to, what you guys have been talking about is what is happening, when in reality it's not. So if the
Yes.
habits are not in place and you're not in control of those habits, you can't have the conversation with that coach or whoever's helping you to move forward,
Okay.
right? How else would you do it?
You can't.
Right.
You don't know all of the facts.
No, but for someone that's done this for a while now, I know.
Oh.
I know that you're not following. What's
Okay.
actually happening, I don't know. Right? Like, I don't know exactly what you're doing that it's not delivering the results, but you're doing something that's
and then
not,
you're not telling you about
right,
it.
something's not adding up.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I got that.
So usually it's something that's being left out.
Of what okay.
Right. Whether if you told
Well,
them
maybe they don't realize it because they're not writing everything down.
you got it, right? So they're like, oh, well, I'm hungry around 4 o'clock. Well, are you eating that? Are you eating at 3 o'clock? Or are you eating at 1? When are you eating? What's next? What did you eat? How much? Right? And if
Okay,
you don't
right.
understand that and just to say, well, I'm hungry. Are you actually hungry? Are you just craving? Are you bored? Did you miss a meal? Did you miss something? Right? There's more to it than I'm hungry.
Yes.
Because look, most American diets are high in fats and low in proteins and high in carbs.
Uh-huh.
So the chances of most people being hungry
Yeah.
is a bunch of shit. You're not actually hungry. You're craving,
Okay.
right? You're craving, you're bored. It's your habits up until this point that are kicking in.
Right.
Because if you ate 2,000 calories of high dense, high volume, nutrient food,
Yes.
and you're working out, you're fueling correctly, and then to say that you're hungry at the end of that, it's poppycock.
What are you, 75?
Yes. Yes. Because you're not actually fucking hungry. Okay? Like you're
Yep.
just not. Maybe you're missing some important nutrients that's allowing those hormones to be off balance, to have different cravings, right? So to say you're hungry if you're hitting all your right macros, right? You're
Right.
hitting the calories, you're hitting your protein, you're hitting everything, and then you're like, I'm starving. It's bullshit. You're not
Okay.
starving. Starving is a kind of like hate, right? Like hate's a powerful word.
Yeah.
Starving is a powerful word here because like you're not actually starving. Right? You
Right.
could probably use a little bit of starving to get to your goals.
Oh my God. Opie.
What I mean by that is you have to be a little uncomfortable to get results.
Okay.
Okay.
That's much better.
Well, apparently,
You
apparently
just
I
said
have to
starving
clarify.
was a mean word and then you used it.
Okay, uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable is much better.
Sure. I'm in a great mood.
I could tell. This is fun for me.
Well, I'm just saying though, like you have to be honest, like, right? Like,
Well, honest in what you're doing day to day to make
Right.
sure that you
All right.
do want to see the results that
for
you're having.
example, right, we're focusing on Facebook ads to
Okay.
target, clients that don't come from referrals,
Right.
right, or people that know us, and we know we have to do the ads.
Right.
In 3 months from now, if we don't have a client from ads, what is the reason? If we didn't do the ads, how the fuck are we gonna get the
We
thing
won't know.
right from
Yeah.
people, right? If we didn't test it to see if, the video we're gonna make or the picture we're gonna put or the wording that's out there, how are we gonna test it? How do we know? If we don't actually
Do it first.
Right.
Right.
So if you're not doing something, you can't blame the lack of results. Now,
Okay.
we may not get any clients from the ads, but at least we'll know 60 people hit it,
Yeah.
right? 20 people went to the next step. And that's where it
Okay.
fell apart. All right, well, why did it fall apart at that second step? Now we can focus on that second step, right? People are
yeah.
clicking, great. But when they get to this point, this is where it stops. Why
Yeah.
do we not go to the next level? Is it whatever, right?
Right.
Whatever the case may be. Do they not want to put their info in? Maybe they didn't find whatever we send them from in step one valuable,
Okay.
right? Maybe the writing wasn't there. Maybe they didn't like, the guy in the picture or the girl in the picture or whatever the case is, right? Or maybe they didn't feel like they could do it or because of something, how we placed it there. So you got to test something and understand why it's not working before you're like, oh, I can't lose weight.
Yeah.
Well, why can't you lose weight? What is happening that you can't lose weight? Is it because you're not eating enough? Is it because you're restricting? Is it because you're not willing to do the things that would lead to that? Do you think that things are too exhausting? Do you think it's too time consuming? Is it too, it takes too much time out of your day? Is it cutting into your scrolling time? Right? Is it cutting into Netflix? Like, what's the reason
Right.
why you can't have success?
And I don't think that you're going to find that out in just 1 week.
No, you
need a couple
You could go an
weeks.
entire 3-4 months before you figure something out. But everybody wants such quick results, and that's why fad diets have been so popular, because they give you that instant gratification.
Right.
I lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. That's
Right.
great. But if you don't know why you lost those 16 pounds, why'd you lose the 16 pounds? Because you restricted this.
Right.
You cut this, so then your body's kind of eating away at its muscle. So you're losing muscle, you're losing
Right.
water. You're not actually losing body fat, you're not losing quality weight, you're just smaller version.
Right.
But it doesn't mean it's a quality version, because then you're going to end up putting the
weight
pounds
back
back on
on.
when you can no longer sustain, 6 pounds in 2 weeks or whatever
Yeah.
it is, right? 6 pounds in 2 weeks, probably not that bad, but
Yeah.
if it's too much,
If
too
it's too
fast,
much, too fast.
you can't hold on to.
Okay.
What else?
I don't know. I was trying to think of something else.
But again, right, the habits have to start somewhere. So where do you start? Well, I've been kind of looking at the whole product, the way we deliver it, from a different angle, right? Maybe just writing a plan, just to kind of put the right foods there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, all right, focus on eating these foods, but just kind of having a guidance for them in the first couple of weeks to focus more on the habits
Okay.
and not be so worried about
The food.
them eating, the right amount of protein from week 1,
Okay.
right? Or, eating 5-6 meals a day. And the reason for that is to allow more options or more chances to get all the food in, not because it does some magical thing to your metabolism, right? But it just allows you to eat more frequently, be fuller, right?
Right.
Be able to get all the protein in without feeling like you're forcing yourself or things like that, right? But before we get into all of that, I've been thinking, and that's why I haven't said anything, because I've been thinking if it does make sense or it doesn't. So I've been testing it out with last couple of clients I got,
Yeah.
but I haven't even written their plans yet. But that's
Yeah.
just the way I'm going to approach it.
Approach it.
I'm going to write something, not generically, because it's still made for them
Exactly.
with the foods that they like to eat and their day structure. But it's not going to be so focused on, I need you to stay within these numbers. I want you to
Okay.
eat 5 times a day. That's not necessarily important. Maybe the habits are in place. Can they get up and, drink water first thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning.
Right. Can they, eat breakfast? What does that breakfast look like? Write it down. Doesn't
Okay.
have to be 2 hard-boiled eggs with avocado toast, whatever, right?
Right.
It doesn't have to be what you write or what you guys agree on. It could be something completely different. It could be an egg sandwich from fucking McDonald's if that's your thing, but write it down.
Write it
so
down
you
so
know
you
that
know.
yes, you can get it in, but it has to be more of a convenience, right? So then
Okay.
you kind of change the way the breakfast is,
Okay.
right? I can eat my snack in the mid-morning because I have a break before my 11 o'clock meetings or calls or whatever you have, right? So then you know you can get that in. Or what if you can't? What if
Yeah.
you don't eat lunch till 3 o'clock, right? Like, what if your day starts later?
I think all that
Right, so-
information is good to have before plans get written. I
Right,
do
but
like
before,
that.
so it's just a different approach.
Right.
Right?
To make sure that they're trying to get habits into place.
Right.
Unless they're all in right away, then yeah, here you go.
But then that's a different conversation. Then you
That's
have
a
a
different
different plan.
conversation. Yeah.
Right? And now you're trying to just get that person to fine tune and dial it in. You don't have to spend time creating habits. They have those.
They have the habits
Right?
already.
Like for someone like me, there's no reason to create habits. I have habits.
Yeah.
But like maybe we could dial in the nutrition a little bit more. Right?
Okay.
Maybe I could dial in the cardio versus the lack of cardio.
Oh,
right?
so you're gonna take a spin class?
No. I mean, yes, but no. I'll be in the spin class. How
You're
much
just-
spinning?
You're just gonna
Probably
sit.
just sit there
You can
yeah.
just sit there.
and admire
Make
the coaching that's happening in front of me. I'll take notes. Yeah.
all right.
Kind of like how you take notes every day when you come to my class. So it
See,
makes you
I
a better
support
coach.
you. You
Right.
should come and support me.
Right. I'm right here.
Not on a bike.
I'm at your gym. Do you want to do the podcast off on a bike? We
Next
could do
week
the
we're
podcast
going-
on a bike.
We're doing the podcast off a bike.
Oh, that'd be ridiculous. But okay, I'm in.
Okay.
Um,
Look at you.
yeah.
Out of your comfort zone. I
well,
like that. What
I'll
else
try
can we get you
anything
to do?
I'll try anything once. Well, not anything.
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, because you didn't have the habits in place.
I didn't have
to
any
create-
habits in place. And you started saying that you were
Uh.
we're gonna do a podcast on a spin bike and you're gonna try everything once.
At least once.
Once.
Except
should
for-
try something.
You should probably not do like crack once. Like that's probably a bad thing to try. At
Don't
least
try that once.
Right, I wouldn't do that once. But
No.
like, you know, there's other things you could do once.
I want to see when you're gonna box once too.
I don't want to break my wrist.
What do you mean?
What if I hit the wrong way?
You're gonna have gloves on.
There was once I wanted to do MMA or UFC, but then I had to get hit in the face. I don't want to get hit in the face.
Nobody's. You think that bag's gonna attack? If that bag attacks you, we
don't
have
know.
a lot
You
other
do not
things
know.
going on here at Stride. If the bag starts attacking, we should reevaluate where we are.
Well, you never know.
Okay.
But yeah, back to,
Wait, I want to ask still about
Yeah.
the calories thing.
go ahead.
How do you let people know? Like, how is too many calories restricted, or how do they know what's enough and what's too much?
So I said that it's okay to be a little uncomfortable.
Okay.
Right? Back to the starving thing, right?
Right.
It's okay to be a little uncomfortable, meaning a little discomfort, right? Because you are kind of trying to fine tune and dial in your nutrition and things like that. So a little discomfort is fine.
Okay.
But if you're constantly craving sugars, or you're constantly hungry, or you're constantly finding yourself that you're looking to pick at something else, chances are is because you're not giving your body what it actually needs.
Okay.
So then understanding that is very important. But that's why writing it down, you'll see where that falls short of.
Then they should write down their workouts too.
I would
and what
write down
they
my
did.
workout, right? Most of us nowadays have Apple Watches or
Right.
Fitbits and things like that that give you total calories burned throughout the day. Look at those.
Look at it.
And if you're burning 2,500 calories a day or 3,000 calories a day, then you know 2,500 versus 3,000 is a 500 calorie deficit, right? Or 2,000 versus 2,500 is a 500 calorie deficit,
Right.
right? If you're burning 2,500 calories and you're at 1,000 calorie input, you're not eating
You're
enough.
not eating enough.
Right? So then you're trying to preserve muscle, you're trying to have a body composition or look a certain way. It's just never going to happen because your body's going to eat away at itself because you don't have enough calories.
Right. Oh, you
Right.
said that last week about the cannibalism.
Yeah. Right? So if it's starting to eat away at its muscle, then you're never going to be able to have lean muscle mass. You're not going to be able to burn more fat because muscle burns fat. The more muscle you have, the more calories you can take in because muscle is more, it takes more calories to be maintained.
Okay.
Right? So if you eat away at that, then your body is kind of learning how to burn less calories at rest. And we touched on this last week too.
Yes.
Right? So you want to be able to burn more calories throughout the day, not less calories, and not be less efficient. You want to be more efficient. That's why lifting weights is so important for men, women, right? Bulkiness is not going to happen. You have to train for that.
Yes.
And take supplements for that.
Right. So, I mean, you should be in some sort of calorie deficit.
Oh, absolutely. You need a deficit,
weight.
right? I can't make you lose weight if we're at 3,000 calories surplus. Like, that's
Right.
just impossible, right?
Exactly.
You need some type of deficit.
So would it be like 500, 600?
So 500 is what they tell you, right? 500
Okay.
calorie deficit. You're at 3,500 calories for the week. That should burn
For the
a
week?
pound. 500 calories a day,
Okay, sorry.
right?
Yeah,
7
I got
times
it.
5 is 35.
Yeah,
3,500 calories is a pound.
Yeah, I got it.
So
Yeah, that's-
that's the idea, that you're gonna burn a pound a week.
Okay.
Right? And everybody's like, oh, I think I lost a pound. Well, if we're actually gonna look at a pound of fat, that's a lot of fucking volume,
right,
right?
right.
So losing a pound is a big fucking deal.
Yeah, for sure.
But you have to know that you actually lost a pound. Just because you fluctuated up or down for next couple of days, you did not gain nor lose a pound
Okay.
or 3 pounds, right? You have to do it over a course of time. That's why inches are such a big measurement of success.
Okay.
Clothes, big measurement of success, and you're a good example of that,
Right, right.
right? So you may weigh a little more, but you're actually wearing
Smaller size.
smaller sizes,
Right.
And you're smaller, leaner, toner, more muscle.
Yes.
But the weight itself would disprove your weight loss,
Exactly.
right? So we didn't lose weight, we just became smaller.
Became smaller.
Right, but everybody will equate smaller with lower weight.
Exactly. Well, that's when we were talking about the BMI as well.
Right, which is not a good measurement here. Right.
Right.
But if you don't know that, your habits over the course of 50 years, or 39 in your case, right? In that sense, then for the last 39 years, you've done a certain way. So your habits are teaching you that I need to drop weight on the scale to have the measurement of success.
Yes.
Versus we've written some stuff down, we understood how you're eating, what you're doing, how much you're working out,
Exactly.
right? To give you more calories to offset that,
Okay.
right? Before you can see the results.
I do think that is a
Right.
very hard thing to wrap your head around.
It is a big deal
It's-
to wrap your head around, to
Yeah.
eat more. I have a client who yesterday we had a call. She was a referral from one of our current clients,
Okay.
and she's at the lowest weight she's been in years.
Okay.
She's never been able to break a certain pounds, and we were able to break it. We're down 2 pounds under that,
Okay.
and we had to actually increase her calories because she was feeling hungry and eating everything. Like, she wrote it down, she measured it. I trusted the info she was giving, so we increased her calories, and I knew she was telling the truth because when I increased the calories, she still dropped weight.
Right.
So I knew she was doing the right things.
Well, she needed more calories.
Right, and
with
she
what
actually
was
did
doing.
need calories. Like, she was actually hungry.
Yeah.
Even though we gave her enough calories to begin with, we needed more,
Okay.
right? Maybe she was exerting a lot more energy than we thought.
Then, yeah. Maybe she was burning more than 500 calories
Right,
a day. So she
right.
needed
She
more
actually
to
needed
compensate
a
for
little
that.
more because she was feeling hungry.
Okay.
And traveling and taking her daughter to visit colleges and doing all that stuff, we were still able to drop lower weight than she's been in years. And
That's
just,
awesome.
but that's
Good
just
for
piecing
her.
it all together and telling the truth.
And telling the truth.
Right.
And doing the trial and error kind of thing.
Right, because-
this didn't work.
right.
Now we're gonna
Right.
move on.
Because
to
think
something
about it,
else.
when it didn't work and she told me she was hungry and I told you I have to increase your food, be like, well, hold on,
No.
right? I'm gonna put on weight.
Yeah.
But
I
no,
would think
let's
that too.
see what it does.
I
Right?
mean, even still now, I would think
Right.
that. I think that you had told me last week that I should eat a little bit more, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Because
But
those
you
habits
may
are
have
still,
to though. But
yes.
you may have to because how much you're working out.
Right. I know that it makes sense for sure, but
Mhm.
still, those old habits are still, man,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
it's
hard
hard
to break.
break.
But again, it comes down to habits. And knowing your current habits will help you make better nutritional habits. And we never restrict anyone. We don't tell you to go out, not go out. We don't stay in, eat at home, never order out. Things are shit, no Kit Kats, right? Like, that's stupid, right? Like, you can do all of it. No Reese's. I love Reese's. You should be able to do it all. But
Yes.
understand the difference between I'm a complete slob when it comes to chocolate, or I just know to enjoy myself and not beat myself over the head with it
Right.
because it should be allowed. for me to have chocolate,
Yeah,
right? If
I like
that's your
chocolate.
thing, right?
Yeah.
So
I like Reese's too. They're my favorite.
Mine too. Well, Kinder Chocolate's my favorite.
Kinder.
Mm.
What's that? What? What are Kinder chocolates?
You know, the eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
guess
see,
that's
I grew
right.
up on different ones. So, Kinder did not come here until recently. But
Oh,
it's
okay.
a European thing.
Oh,
So,
all
like, I
right.
grew up on it, which is great because Tristan likes it and we get to eat it together. But
Yeah.
the original eggs that I'm used to was just an actual egg, not peel apart. One is a toy, one is a little bit of chocolate. It was just a full chocolate egg. You opened it and the toy was inside.
I see. Wait, are they not allowed to do that anymore?
They just don't have those. So you
Oh,
have to go
okay.
to either like European stores to get those types of eggs or order it online.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're better.
They're better with
They're
the
better
toy
than
inside?
the chocolate egg itself is better than the one that has the scoop, right?
Oh,
It has
okay.
the green thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
have the scoop. Not the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right. Good.
I think we're good.
All right. Let's
Did we
end
cover
it.
everything?
I think we covered
Oh,
everything.
good.
All
I
right.
was worried. We didn't.
I think you don't have to be worried. I think you're fine.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Now can I flex?
No.
Yeah.
Oh God. The
How
recording's.
about like?
How come so? You know what? I don't flex while you're talking.
Well, maybe you should.
Just gonna do this
Just
all
do
day.
this all day. Make
Get outta
funny
here.
face and look like you're taking a shit.